Hi, everyone. Thanks for braving the heat with us. I'm here because apparently I conned someone into thinking it was a good idea. But my journey to ICS began in second grade. A student named Julie moved to our small town in Georgia from Costa Rica. My teacher, recognizing my inquisitive personality and the fact that I could speak for long periods of time without anyone listening, assigned me to show her around the school and help her get accustomed to her new environment. Julie and I became best friends in about 3 days. I learned all about her family, her move to America, and her culture. How this happened, I'm not sure because neither of us spoke the other's language. Julie planted a seed of interest in foreign cultures in my head, but still, I did not know immediately when I entered Duke that I wanted to major in ICS. I originally took the Public Policy Department's introductory course because I thought it would present me with the opportunity to discuss real issues that affect real people. Then, about 4 weeks in, we started talking about macroeconomics and game theory. I realized that I was definitely in the wrong place. As I looked for classes the next semester, I saw one that looked more fascinating. It was called Comparative Approaches to Global Issues, and I thought to myself, well, it sounds interesting, and it probably won't make me sweat too much, so why don't I give it a try? Well, the class was stimulating, but let me tell you, the sweating was excessive. Professor Jessica Namikal is one tough cookie. I spent many late nights in Perkins Library, but this time it was worth it. This class introduced me to people from Venezuela, the Philippines, and even a Tibetan refugee named Renzin Dorji, who is in the audience graduating with us, who was exiled by the Chinese government to India and granted asylum by the US government to come here as a political refugee. Talk about learning from your peers. I realized that I had finally discovered my niche at Duke. Coming from my small town in Georgia, ICS's academic atmosphere was not very familiar to me. Throughout my education, I had more than my fair share of incidents being told, both directly and indirectly, that it did not fit the mold of a traditionally successful student. In fact, I was almost set on a path that actually wouldn't have led me to Duke. In elementary school, when I took the national, state, and county tests required to join the gifted program within my school system, I scored an average 98th percentile in all 3 tests. I was originally told, though, that I was not a good fit for the program because I did not exhibit the social qualities of a student in the gifted program. Shout out to my mom and dad for not letting that fly. Similarly, one of my middle school teachers became so concerned with my group of friends that in the way that we interacted amongst each other, being rambunctious and chatty with each other and maybe a bit sassy with each other, that she called a meeting with my parents to discuss the bad crowd that I was socializing with. Of these 4 girls, one now goes to Duke, one goes to MIT, one goes to UPenn, the Ivy League, and one is an honor student at UGA. Clearly, my teacher had a cultural misunderstanding of our social interactions. As we wrap up our time at Duke, I can definitively say I made the right decision to choose ICS. I've had the opportunity to complete really stimulating research on everything from cross-analyzing the rather scandalous US 2016 election and with the equally as scandalous Brexit decision. And also I looked at the fashion and the way that it impacted Germany and the Nazi regime and how they used it to exploit and oppress non-Aryan Germans. ICS is definitely different from any other major at Duke. Yes, ICS majors can define neoliberalism and tell you how it fits into this modern political era, but we don't just sit around discussing different academic theories and philosophical concepts. This major quite literally took us outside of the classroom. One of my ICS professors, Eli Meyerhoff, actually took us to the front lines of a protest on West Campus and held a pop-up lecture right there at the sit-in. Other ICS members encouraged me to actively engage in our interconnected world by studying abroad for 7 months in Italy and the UK. Though, as the resident American, I usually was just asked about Donald Trump and what I felt about him. But I also learned about their country's history and current political structures from their own perspective, something that definitely differs from the American perspective. I just want to say thank you to the ICS department and the WIND for helping us to evolve into better global citizens. I also want to thank my peers for opening my eyes to issues that were never even on my radar. With that being said, we made it, and I can't wait to see what the future brings for us all. Thank you.